Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you are safe today. If you live in Ukraine or around there, you're affected by this. My thoughts really go out to you. Today, we're going to look at some of this stuff and how it affects the crypto markets. After all, this is a crypto channel, so I want to talk about how it relates to crypto, but there is a humanitarian side to this, no doubt. So, we're going to get into all this stuff, and I'm going to give my thoughts on how I think this is going to affect the crypto markets going forward. I mean, last night, obviously, when the news broke, every market imaginable went down except for oil. And today, crypto has been on a bit of a bounce up. Now, will that continue? I don't know. We'll dive more into that. But first, let's just take a look at the charts. All right, so here we are on CoinMarketCap. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is, let's refresh this to make sure we get a current up-to-date thing. So Bitcoin over the last 24 hours is down 3.77%. It was certainly down lower than that. I think it got down to, let's click on it real quick and see how low it got down to. Oops, we're on markets. Go to overview. Here we go. So it looks like it hit a low of, we'll say roughly somewhere about 34, little under 34,500, dropping down sharply from 37,000. You know, this was at 6:49 p.m. Here we are at 9:40. About 3 hours. It had a what is that? A significant move. Sorry, I can't do the math right there. Maybe about 7% move in that time. That's pretty significant. Let's go back and look at the rest of the market. So Bitcoin, but it's still down 3.5%. Ethereum still down over 4%. Tether sitting steady at $1. BNB down 6%. So we got that kind of stuff. Let's click this and see where our gainers, our Anchor protocol went up. That makes sense because Anchor protocol, if you're unfamiliar, is a DeFi protocol that gives about a 19.5% return on stablecoins. So in times of uncertainty, people certainly flock to stablecoins. I did some of that too. You know, I moved some of my stuff into stablecoins after all this because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go get some yield on stablecoins, or at least let it sit on the sideline and wait to see where prices are and kind of buy in there. But that's pretty much the market there. Let's go here real quick. The invasion of Ukraine, how Russia attacked, and what happens next. Now, this article doesn't necessarily go deep into that. It just talks about kind of a accounting of what happened. Basically, what I've surmised looking at everything is that, you know, it boils down to, simply put, Putin wants power. Putin wants more power. Putin wants Russia to have more power. And so Ukraine is something that's been contentious with them for quite a while. Let me get some coffee real quick. And, you know, we talk about Putin maybe wanting to put back together the USSR, stuff like that. I don't know. Sure, I guess it's just that's all more power for him and Russia. At least him, that's for sure. Now, what does this mean? I just feel I can't imagine being a Ukrainian citizen right now. What would that be like? By the way, shameless plug, just hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. But imagine how it would be living somewhere like this with that kind of threat raining down upon you. Now, what I can say is overall the markets have gone down, every market imaginable. The Russian stock market in particular has dropped like crazy. It went down like 30%. 30% since they invaded last night. Let's move on to another article here. So here we are at the Wall Street Journal. Russian attacks on Ukraine, royal stocks, energy markets. Invasion sends stocks lower, but oil prices rise to over $100 a barrel. Now, it's important to remember that Russia is a major producer of oil. And we're going to get into more about what that means in a second in another article we're going to look at here. But because of that, you know, obviously as oil prices go up, that brings in more money for Russia, even though their stocks are dropping. So this seems to be a calculated move by Putin and the rest of, the Russian shot callers. Because they have the oil to back them up. Now, that also limits or creates problems for moves other countries do, such as Russia, especially or the U.S., and especially many other European countries, because there's a lot of dependency on Russian oil for energy in European countries, even the United States here. And so that gives Putin and Russia some leverage and some kind of armor from how countries move to act against them. So this is all really interesting stuff in a bad way. I think this is the biggest war move from the civilized world that's happened in my adult life, and I'm almost 40. So very, very interesting. I can't stand this guy over here bouncing. But I don't get the whole story here on this one. I just thought it was interesting to look at that. Let's go on to the next article. Now, sanctions. If you're not familiar, what are sanctions? They're basically economic penalties, basically, that other countries can do. So, for instance, if Russia relied on getting, silicon or something from us, or oil from us, or textiles, or water or something, we could say, you know what, we're not going to trade with you anymore. You know what, we're not going to buy your stuff anymore either, because maybe a big part of Russia's economy is selling goods to the U.S. or selling goods to other parts of Europe. And we all just say, nope, we're not going to buy your stuff anymore. And you know what, we're not going to supply you with the goods you need either. So screw you. We really don't like this move you did. We're not going to support it because we see us as doing business with you, basically, as supporting what you're doing. And we don't want any part of that. We're definitely taking the other side. Again, because Russia has so much oil, and all of us depend on oil that comes out of Russia to a degree, that does create some issues in there in terms of what sanctions can be implemented and stuff like that. But on to the next big thing, which is the SWIFT banking system. The SWIFT banking system is, let's scroll down here. What is SWIFT? The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. It's a cooperative of financial institutions formed in 1973, headquartered in Belgium. It's overseen by the National Bank of Belgium with cooperation from other major central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve System, Bank of England, and European Central Bank. SWIFT is not a traditional bank. It does not transfer funds. Rather, it acts as a secure messaging system that links more than 11,000 financial institutions in over 200 countries and territories, alerting banks when transactions are going to occur. What would be the effect? For the U.S. and its European allies, cutting Russia out of the SWIFT financial system would be one of the toughest financial steps they could take, damaging Russia's economy immediately and in the long term. The move could cut Russia off from most international financial transactions. That's a big one, including profits from oil and gas production. So it's not just that they can't send money out and buy things, they can't receive money from international sources. That would be a massive sanction. I don't know if they will actually end up doing this one. But that would be crazy if they did, because sure, Russia's got that oil grip and that leverage, but if they cut them off from SWIFT, that makes them sitting there with all this oil with mostly not being able to sell it to anybody. So that would hit their economy real fast, real hard. And I still think this is a very real possibility. But Putin has basically said, everybody stay out of this. I think of it like a robber in a bank hostage situation, like coming in there to get the money. They got the guns. Are saying we got a bomb. Nobody do anything. Nobody come in here. We're going to take this money. We're going to go. We're going to get what we want. You come in here. We are going to just drop this bomb and hit everybody. Because what Putin has basically said here, from what I understand, is he said, hey, remember, we got a bunch of nukes. Everybody stay out of this. That's interesting. That's the most concerning part of all this from a global aspect to me. So what does this all do for crypto? Let's sum it all up. Be sure, if you've enjoyed this summation so far, hit the like button, hit the sub button. What does this mean? So nobody knows exactly what this means because we can't tell the future. But what I feel fairly certain about is that when we have uncertainty globally or economically or even in a country, it's not a good thing for markets of any kind, usually. Sure, maybe oil goes up. But times of uncertainty, things tend to go down. Things tend to go down. So I, myself, what am I doing? I'm taking kind of a back seat. I'm waiting to see how this plays out because I don't know. I'm not really selling. I'm not really buying. I'm looking for opportunities to buy. And I did buy a little bit last night during that dip because when I think long term, because I usually try to think out at least 4 years of where prices of things are going to be. Where's the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum going to be in 4 years? It's going to be a hell of a lot higher than it is today. So to me, I'm like, that's just a really good price. I'm going to buy some, but I'm going to wait and see. So I have cash sitting on the sidelines waiting waiting to see what's going to happen here. We've been in a downtrend for over 3 months. It's hard for me to see this in the short term being some kind of bullish catalyst for this 3.5 month downtrended crypto market. So I'm sitting with that probability over there. So I'm waiting to see where this goes, but I will be buying, but I'm going to wait for it to go down. Again, today, the markets have jumped up some. Like if we go to, let's just go to Bitcoin quick. Like we saw it drop all the way down here to 34.5, really. And now it's up here. It's had a little tick up, 30 to 36.5, right? So to me, this is kind of a dead cat bounce, is what this is. Dead cat bounce being when things drop real fast, there tends to be a little bounce. So I think this is going to come down. When we look at the total supports, let's go over the past month. So the lowest point we hit was down, let's go back 3 months. The lowest point we hit was down here. Really, I know we got into the 32s, so we haven't done this yet. But I think that we go below this and set a new low. I think we go under 33,000. I think there's a chance we even go under 30,000. That's what I think. I mean, I will be buying that stuff because long-term Bitcoin, Ethereum, like those just seem like really sound investments to me, not financial advice. But that's what I got for you today. Again, Ukraine, I can't imagine what it's like to be them right now. Russia, Putin, really. Russian citizens are, I'm sure, are fine, regular people, just like everybody else, because it's these people in power that Putin, I don't like that guy. I do not like that guy. God. Anyways, hopefully this can be resolved peacefully. That's all I can say, because we're all citizens of the earth. And as we go to war and as we fight with each other, it's just, when are we gonna learn? I don't know. Hit the like button, hit the sub button. Stay safe, watch out, and reflect and pay attention to what's going on. You were awesome. Thanks for watching.